It's almost July 4th. It's
Yeah.
pre-Friday before tomorrow is officially a holiday.
It's the
Yes.
pre-4th.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow's a holiday? What? I'm pretty sure I'm still working.
Well, I don't know what that is, but yeah, it's like when people say happy weekend. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
huh? What are you doing this weekend? I'm 43 years old, Sharon. I'm not out skydiving. I'm like
Yeah, what do
at
you think we're
home.
doing?
And I ate. Did you see I shared that the other day? Like I ate shredded cheese out of a bag like a raccoon. I was like,
Yeah.
that was
That is
me.
living your best life. And
Yes, and that makes us
endorse
happy.
that.
There
Eating
And
you
I
Yes.
sat
go.
down
cheese.
and accidentally took a 3 hour nap. Like that's what I'm
There
doing
you
on
go. That's
or
what we're
working.
doing.
But also, like the weekend is like Tuesday. That's Tuesday for realtors.
That's right. Tuesday,
Exactly.
leave
So
it
that's
half a
why
win.
people are like happy weekend. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's fine.
I had a realtor tell me that they take Mondays off. I was like, how do you take a
Monday.
Monday
Oh
off?
my God, I could never take Monday off. It's too chaotic after what you did over the weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Like Tuesday,
So
Wednesday is a better, like, because you got it somewhat under control, I
yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And get over the sunburn.
Well,
You know,
ladies, it
note takers
is
here.
fun and fun. I know there's a lot of note takers.
A lot of note takers. So we're going to start. Well, Destiny, we're really happy you are here.
Thank you for
And
having
this
me.
whole topic is going to be the cost of playing small. And I think that this is, a very interesting topic because I think sometimes as realtors, well, really anybody, but as it pertains to us as realtors, I think sometimes it's like, should I talk about what we're doing? I mean, do people care? Or then when you do it, like you had a really good month and you start posting, then people are always like, social media is very what's the word? Predictable. All of a sudden you start noticing people are following that didn't follow before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or they're starting to comment. And you're like, so I think I think sometimes we get caught up in our own minutia, but I think that, like I said, this is a great topic because I believe that we need to live authentically, right? And when we don't, I think it diminishes something within ourselves, right? So we
Yeah.
got to learn, like you said, to play big. So I think this is going to be a great topic for all the ladies. And I know everybody's going to be able to get something out of this so we can live how we want to live and not feel bad about it.
Mhm.
And I think this topic really adds on to some of the other things that we've talked about and really have built upon. Because I mean, we were
Yes.
talking about we've multiple, like we had the leadership, the Empower Her last week, and we talked about, I don't know if who all on here was on that, but that was our second go at mental health. Like it
Yeah.
is phenomenally crazy how that has been an issue with people. And like, I mean, like, yeah, like some people are like, I'm not sleeping, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. So like, it's like, so then that builds into this whole, like, are you asking, are you able to, like, are you playing small because are you having mental health issues, or are you playing small because you're having an issue, you're like, I don't think I'm good enough. Like, what is
Right.
it? And so like
Yeah.
we've got that, we've got social media stuff. Like I feel like this is such a perfect time for this topic.
And I think comparison's bad. I think everybody tries not to do it, but I think we tend to do it. It's habit, especially women, right? Or are we doing enough? And I just, it's how to mentally get out of that
Mhm.
into, out of your head and get out of our heads. So, and just do what we do and be who we are, right? I mean, that's the most important thing. So, Destiny, we're glad you're here today. So tell us a little bit about you and let's get into it.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much for having me. I love that this is like a thing. I am always like so pro women. Like I'm so subtly always like yeah, take that, like you go girl. Like I'm always like rooting for the girls in the background very subtly, but I had a big brother, so I was always naturally competing with him, right? And he shaped me in so many ways, which I'm very grateful for. But so my name is Destiny. I am in the DFW area, Dallas-Fort Worth area. I've been in real estate almost 11 years, which is crazy. It's the longest job I've ever had, so I must like it. I've been in leadership for a good chunk of my career, so I've probably been a full-time realtor probably a grand total of 4 years of my 11 years. So I've been leading agents and coaching agents a good portion of that time. I'm finally in a position where I am mostly leading and also coaching and also getting to run my business the way that I really want. So this is a really cool time for me, my family. I do have a 3-year-old who I think is the bee's knees, and so I'm a what I like to call a big mama, one of those ladies who had babies later in life. So I moisturize, so I might look young, but your girl's definitely like at 41 with a 3-year-old. So pray for me. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
I
That's awesome. Yeah,
accidentally muted myself. Whoops. I was like, they don't want to hear my rustling of my paperwork on my desk. No, we love that. So tell me, like, tell us a little bit more. Like, I just want to know, like, where did this whole, like, not playing small thing, like, did you have something that came about that just kind of clicked?
So I'll be very honest. I've had so many unique experiences in my life that I've realized as I've gotten older are not normal. And so one of those was I I played basketball growing up, right? And so when I say that very casually, people think, girls playing basketball, women's sport, good job, right? But I came from a very well-known girls basketball program. Like we're nationally known. We're normally nationally ranked. Like when people come to the games, they come to the girls' games and then they would take off for the guys' games because the guys weren't as fun, right? Or as good. So I've always been in this space where I had to be very thoughtful of how I carried myself and all the things, right? But also had to be competitive at a very high level. And so that being said, like, I've won championships, I've played college basketball, but also I was that background taught me to just kind of like, for lack of better terms, shoot the shot, like just go for it, right? And I also had have amazing parents that have always supported me. So after my college career, y'all, I did a hard, like, left turn, maybe even like a 180, and I pursued a modeling career. And it wasn't just like, let's just go and, take some photos and do the thing. I quit my job. I moved to New York. And I mean, some people say they moved to New York with like $500 in a dream. Like I had $50. And if you've been in New York, that is not enough for a monthly Metro card. So I was like
That's a hot
figuring it
dog,
out.
Destiny. That's just a hot dog.
And so I've always had this like support system that's really encouraged me to just go, right? Like just go and figure it out. My mom was an entrepreneur, my brother's an entrepreneur, and a dad who's always been like, I can't use this language, but I'll just say hashtag FTMF. I'll let you figure out what that means on your own time. But that sort of mentality, I realized again, like people didn't necessarily grow up with that, and that really just kind of sparked the journey of like really just going for it, like as hard as it may be with all the circumstances, and especially as women, like we're with as much as we carry, whether we are married or single or have children or don't have children, there's so much more that we carry that I think it's overlooked. So our shooting the shot comes with so much more risk than I think our male counterparts often encounter. So that's kind of where that really like blossomed from.
Did you have did you have a presentation? I think I should.
No, no
Okay.
presentation, just out here with some questions.
Okay.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing you and Jamie talked a little bit, so
Yeah.
take it away, I guess, or
Awesome. Okay,
whatever
yeah,
you
yeah,
have
yeah,
to talk
sure.
about. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, if there's answering questions, go for it.
So I wanna ask everybody some questions. Like I used to be a former teacher. Like I used to be a former everything. So you're gonna hear me say this a lot throughout this conversation. But I just want you to put your answer in the chat as we go through. So I have about one, two, three, four questions to ask, and I want to see how you do. It's a pop quiz. I hope you studied. All right. So what is the number of percentage of women that make up realtors? This is an NAR stat. So blank percent of realtors are women. Is it A, 87%, B, 65%, or C, 52%? Ooh, okay. We got some A's. Yeah. Okay. Okay, fantastic. The correct answer is B, 65%. 65% of women make up the real estate industry. And so that means largely like this is a woman-run industry in a way, right? Like we make up a huge majority of our industry. Okay. So the other part of that is while we do make up a lot of um, the demographic of our industry, we make up a significantly less amount in leadership roles, especially in the commercial space, or yeah, even just in commercial. So, what percentage of women in real estate make up commercial real estate agents? Is it A, 36%, B, 22%, or C, 12%? How many agents are women that are commercial realtors? 36, 22, or 12? Oh, haha, my answers. Okay. Ooh, okay. Fantastic. We're actually sitting at 36%.
Oh, even
Ooh,
better.
Right. That number's gone up for sure. I know, especially in our space, and then even just taking it a step further, think about how those numbers are significantly lower for like minority women, right? So, let's go to the next
Our
one.
gal Cynthia will jump on here in a second. She just said she was at the salon, but she's in New York and she is a commercial broker that she's done the whole shabam and she's a
Yep.
boss.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So
Good for
it's
her.
it's awesome to see more people getting into that because I really like I know I thought about going into it too and it was like very
Mhm.
male dominated. I was like, I don't know.
Very, very. And I think even just like the way, I don't know, when I've interacted with male, not male, I'm not gonna say
Peacocks.
male. Uh, yep. It's a very interesting space to navigate. And I've always felt like I was diminished. And I'm like, I've been doing this for some time. I kind of know the difference, but it's not diminished, dismissed. Very dismissive conversations like, oh, you wouldn't understand. Oh, you don't. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I've bought commercial property. Like, I kind of know how this goes. Or anyways, all right. All right. So the next
Please
question.
tell me more.
Um, Male real estate brokers earn roughly blank percent more than female brokers. Now, this is brokers, okay? Is it A, 60%, B, 50%, or C, 30%?
Better not be anything bigger than C. I'm gonna be pissed.
Uh-oh.
I really wish.
I agree with Tracy. I don't agree with any of those options either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like,
So like D, none of the above, right?
uh,
So the answer is D. Male brokers earn significantly more than our female brokers. That's not necessarily saying the independent contractors, but the folks in those leadership roles significantly earn more. But 60% is a lot more, right? And so it makes me wonder, like, what are we doing? What are we doing differently, or what should we be doing, and how does that even happen? Okay, and then I have one more. This one's a little bit more about our new agents, agents that are less than 2 years. This is not gender specific. 2 years or less in the industry, their average income, the median income, excuse me, is it 22,300 A, B, 17,900, or C, 8,100? This is an NAR stat, so just pulling
zero.
up.
Who said zero? Tracy, no.
Zero to, no, I'll say one.
I'm gonna try to be positive. I
Yeah.
put B in there.
I know. I really hoped it was at least B. The answer is C, 8,100 bucks.
$8,100.
hmm That's
Wow.
the average, or the median. I keep saying average. That's the median income for an agent less than 2 years in the industry. So that's saying a lot, right? So I think about the folks that are getting into the industry, right? It's if it's 65% women getting into the industry, and we all know that 85% of those folks are going to make it. I mean, 85% of those folks are not going to make it, but we're also dealing with all the things that come with starting your business, the things that you have to do in terms of managing expectations, managing your own expectations. And so I think what I kind of want to open the floor with and just kind of see where we might agree, disagree, or even just to kind of manage what do we feel like is keeping us from stepping up and into the opportunities that we feel like we've earned at 65% of this industry. There should be a bit more, I don't want to say equality, but there should be a bit more level playing field when it comes to how much we're earning, how successful we are. But before I kind of get into my thoughts, I would just want to hear from you guys. What do you guys feel like the differences are that keep women from seeing more success in the real estate industry? The other piece I want to throw into that is even with folks who own larger brokerages, those spaces are largely male, right? Some of the ones that we hear about, those spaces are largely male. That doesn't mean that women can't, but we don't see them. And why do you think that is?
I think that, and this is a conversation that I have had recently, I think in general, men are raised and taught and trained to expect to get what they want out of life and to ask for what they want. And
Hmm
women are expected to be happy with what they get, close their mouths, smile, be pretty, accept less, don't cause a ruckus, don't cause a fight, don't do any of that. And I think the biggest change when we see some of those powerful, powerful women who are succeeding in life, it's because they've asked for it. You don't know unless you ask. So that's a conversation. I have three kids, two men and one girl, and constantly you gotta train everybody the same. And
Yeah.
especially women today, you need to be forceful. You need to
Mhm.
understand your worth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody else? What's the difference? Why do we see?
Yeah. Tracy says we have other responsibilities.
Yes. Yeah, like 3-year-olds. Somebody come get me. Help.
Well, the other thing too, I think, is a lot of the times the one stat that I think that we need to look into more too is a lot of the times people that are getting into real estate, this is not a first career. This is a second or a third career. And this is, a lot of the times what I've seen is people will get into this after their kids get a little bit older and they need,
Yeah.
they kind of come back in or something changes in their lifestyle. So a lot of the times with the other responsibilities, it's not necessarily the very first job or career that you take.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of what people have seen in the last few years is like in 2020, 2021, 2022, a lot of people who lost their jobs in the pandemic came into real estate because it's also service industry based or it's similar skill sets. But then the 2 years comes up and they go to renew their license and they're like, they made a bunch of money and or maybe they didn't and they didn't renew. But a lot of people are like, oh, this was easy. I could do this. And then the market got harder. So now at that 4 year mark, we saw a lot of people not renew.
Absolutely.
And so I think a lot of it has to do with too, like, asking for opportunities. We don't have a lot, like, there's no standard training on how to be a realtor or how to be an entrepreneur. You just figure it out. And I think that has a lot to do with too, because we have other responsibilities, other things going on. We might be running our house. We might be caretaking for our adult parents. We might be doing all these other things. And I feel like a lot of the times that stuff gets pushed to the women, and the
Mhm.
men are just allowed to go and like, I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna do the things, and like it makes it difficult. There's only so many hours in the day.
Right. Right.
May I comment on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that, oh, sorry. My name is Samara. I'm a full-time commercial agent. And I just wanted to note on the fact that for me, I think a solid thing is demeanor. And I just want to jump in on that and explain. So as a commercial agent and a woman of color, the percentage of me in my arena is small, right? And so, before I was with EXP, and their biggest thing was like a mentor, find a mentor. And it is a lot of older men who maybe their way that they got their deals or how they got there is this kind of aggressive kind of personality that doesn't work the same when a woman does it. So even though I'm not saying that we're not aggressive or go-getters, it's just the way we do it has to be a little bit different, so it doesn't come off in the wrong way. And then the other part of that is I'm trying to figure out a nice way to say this.
Man.
Shoot it out there, honey. Shoot it
Yeah.
out.
As much as you want to say, we are going out there. I will say there was a peer who his biggest thing was, I don't have any kids. I don't have any family. So your business is my baby. And we were going after the same ticket. And my thing was, I can't say what he said. What I can say is that I'm a mother and a wife and my time matters to me. So everything I do is intentional. And when I work for you, everything about it is respecting your time because I respect my time. And it was just a different kind of angle. He can say that my time is endless, everything is yours, versus my time is precious and your time is precious. So the way we went about it was two different things. So it's what does your client need and what do they respect? Personally, my clients respect their time. So I won that one. But it was kind of like, if I didn't think about it that way, I'd have been like, man, he's got a point there. He's got endless time, which they do. They do have endless time. But I can't offer what I don't have. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. Out of curiosity, do people, I feel like sometimes when I use language about, or if I bring up my child or not necessarily my spouse, but when I bring up some things, it seems to be some level of judgment from clients. So I don't often like share things about like, oh, I'm going to, like sometimes, let me be very clear, oh, I'm going to swim lessons with my kid or whatever it may be. But sometimes I feel like that excuse often comes up later with clients or even other professionals. Oh, you've got a kid, so you won't be able to do blah, 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 blah. I'm almost fighting back to say, well, I do have a child, but I am still able to execute at a high level. Does anybody else have that similar experience?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't
And
have
it,
kids. I've got a farm, but same difference.
you've got a bunch of kids. You've got a bunch
That's
of
right.
Bunch of chickens.
kids. Yeah, and I find that when I'm navigating that space, there's an instant level of defense, but I know that there's power in being my whole self when I step into that space, saying yes, like I do have a child, and yes, I do have other obligations, but at the end of the day, I am executing at a high level. You've gotten your things on time. You are doing these things, and you're happy with what with results that you've gotten, right? And again, it's not necessarily just clients, but it's just in other spaces, especially when I'm dealing with vendor partners or whoever that may be. And so it's just, I don't know. That's one of those things that I've always saw other people navigate. I see Whitney has a question.
No, I was just going to chime in on that as well.
Yeah.
I'm in the Space Coast, Florida area. I've been doing this a little over 11 years, a mom of four that are in all of the sports. And for years, I was like you kind of like, do I say it? Are they going to think less of? And I fully embrace it. I sit in leadership of my local board, leadership of the state. And it's just that if I can navigate four boys, trust me, you're in good hands. I got you, and it's me and it's part of me. And I think as women, we try to make it seem as if we don't have a lot on our plate and we can do it, but no, we do, and we still juggle it. So I definitely would encourage anyone to just embrace it. And my clients now, my kids are everything. They're going to be my number one priority, but I'll be there for you. I just may have a kid or two with me. We'll make it work.
That's
Okay.
awesome. Thank you,
Hi,
Whitney.
Whitney.
Hi.
What's up, Tracy?
Yeah, I was just gonna say the same thing. Like we have to then defend ourselves too on top of everything else. It takes up so much more energy.
Takes a lot of energy. I think especially just with depending on your partner dynamics, right? Whether you have a partner or you don't have a partner, or even just like your support system. Not for nothing. I have a very westernized but very traditional Nigerian husband. So there's a lot of things that like I'm managing that he just really won't touch. And so with that, like the load again is way more significant than, we would like. But I'm curious to hear what sort of boundaries do you guys set with your families or with just people in your space or support system to say, hey, like I am pursuing these things. Here's where I'm going to need your support, or here's what I need from you.
Mhm.
I think it's just constant, communication. Like even in real estate, it's communication. In relationships, it's communication. It's always communication. So like my husband and I don't have kids, but like we caretake for my mom and his mom's not, my mom lives on our property. His mom lives a ways away. We also have a farm. So it's constantly like, hey, what's your schedule this week? Hey, what's your schedule today? Hey, I'm not going to be here. Can you do this? Like just constant like communication over like things that need to be, taken care of. Also, like the big thing that I find is that he supports me and that I have women like y'all selves to support me too, because having that other female support in your life, especially when you are a realtor, like my husband, bless him, he is great, but he does not understand the trials and the tribulations of real estate. He tries, but he just doesn't quite internalize it. He's like, "Why are you awake at 3 a.m.?" And I'm like, "Because." So like having that communication, having those people to lean on, I think is a great part of this. But making sure that you are doing that communication.
Absolutely.
I love that, Cass. And for me too, I don't have the farm, so I have different responsibilities, but I do have two kids at home that are 13 and 14, and they've been on this journey with me this entire time.
It's
And
a group ordeal. Real estate is
yeah,
a group ordeal.
yeah, and we have different seasons in life, right? There are some seasons where we are going to work 47 hours a day, every single day, and we're not going to see our family, and it's going to be hard. But the communication piece and keeping everybody in the loop, I have a calendar with everybody, so everybody knows what mama's doing, everybody knows where mama is. And if I can pop in, like I have a 30-minute block for lunch today. I'm going to pop in, my husband's making lunch, we're going to eat lunch, and I'm going to go back to work, right? But having that conversation with your family, do not leave your family and your friends in the dark, because that fosters resentment and anger, and they do know you're working for them. They know that that's what we're doing as women, but it certainly would bother me if my husband was working a million hours and didn't say anything to me, and I would feel very taken, for granted, even though I knew in my heart he was working for the family, right?
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword. I just don't think guys get it. You try, you explain, I think they do and they don't, but it's irritation all the time. I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? Not work,
Right.
pay bills.
Right.
Yeah. I think also some things, expectation setting. I think that's a big part of it. Like we do it in our business as well, like expectations and setting those expectations with our family that like we need to set boundaries for personal time and boundaries for family time and all these other boundaries. And it's difficult to do in real estate because everything's so demanding. And like I feel like you guys feel this too, but people want satisfaction now. And that's why and I think a lot of that comes from Amazon. Like you want instant gratification. So if you don't answer my phone, I'm going to the next person. And like for the people that are starting up and not doing as many transactions and they're like, oh gosh, I want to do this, like it just eats your time. I was at lunch with my girlfriend Samira yesterday, and she gets leads from her brokerage, and they're all realtor.com stuff, and she has to like respond like this, and she's like, I could see it wearing on her. I was like, can you turn it off, like, and just have a minute? And I'm like, dude, you need to set boundaries and expectations both with yourself and your husband. And like, you need to set expectations with yourself. Like, it's not healthy to sit there and have to be on demand on your phone for 7 hours a day constantly. And so I think also like setting those, boundaries and expectations is more than just work. It's also our personal lives.
Agree. So I wanted to kind of pivot back to like playing small, right? And what it actually looks like. I feel like playing small definitely looks different ways, right? I think that especially as women, like we said it earlier, just it can look a certain way or it's kind of a little dismissive. But it looks a lot different, especially when it comes to like social media and how we show up on social media and the things we do, right? Because what we put on social media is true, right? Sort of feels like, and that's kind of the story that gets told, right? But sometimes it also sounds like, oh, I'm just being realistic, or oh, it's not really being responsible, or I'll get to it after just a few more deals, or I'll do this, or I'll make this investment after I hit this mile marker. And I think that we just really have to be thoughtful in like how we catch ourselves in our language. And so I guess my what I want to ask, well, let me also present this. I think women seek security a bit more instinctually than like our male counterparts. So they shoot more shots, for lack of better terms, than we do. And I think that we have to be very thoughtful of the language that we're using in our head first before we well, to be able to go seek the opportunities that we're really wanting to go after, right? Whether we're looking to increase our price points, get into commercial real estate, or just show up differently in our space, right? Take a leadership role. So I see Cynthia has a question or wanted to say something.
Um, Hi, I'm sorry I can't be on the camera. I'm in a hair salon, but honestly, I kind of wanted to just share something from the perspective of what you were just talking about. I've been an entrepreneur probably since I was 19 years old, only because my parents told me, if you fail, then try again, you know, and I feel like a lot of men are raised that way. I have two brothers and obviously, and me and a sister, but like we have to stop apologizing. And I think that's the constant theme in this business. Women are apologizing for being successful. They're apologizing for their lives because men don't even think about that. Like I 99% of my clients are men and men that don't look like me. And when I stopped apologizing and just saying like, well, yeah, no, my fee is 6% on commercial, they, eventually they just accepted it. But, people are like, oh, well, no, I'll accept 3. And no, well, will you do 4? No, like, and if they aren't going to accept my fee, then I'm not your broker, like I'm not the broker for you. And knowing that I'm saving more time on someone who's going to debate how much I'm worth is, to me, I found much more valuable than sitting there and trying to like talk them into it. So like maybe that's just what I'm thinking is like, how can we find a way to be more confident in what we bring to the table? Because we work 10 times as hard as these other
Right.
counterparts. And we're always going to be more intentional. We're always going to be more creative. So like that's what we lead with. We're actually better, not to be like mean, but like we're better than 90% of the male agents out here. It's just it's our confidence in really explaining that and walking away from a deal because 90% of them come back if you walk away.
Yes, that is so
That's it.
funny. I remember I had a mentor once, and let me be very clear, she was a crotchety old lady, but she did no less than 100 deals a year by herself, which I'm like, I don't know what you're doing, lady. But she taught me that, like, especially when it comes to negotiating. So let's say that you have a seller that's like, hey, can you do it for five? And her answer would be no. And then she would sit there in that silence. So it would literally be like, hey, can you do it for 5%? She'd say no.
Make them uncomfortable. Yes.
Right. And so she's like, sit in the silence. And the first person who speaks lost because now they're defending their reasoning for what they said. So if I said no, and here's why, now I'm really having to like articulate my value and state why I need to like be paid 6%. Whereas if you said no, and the seller came back and said, oh, well, I was just asking because, now they're defending their position and why they even ask. And so a hard no can absolutely be just a hard no. And then you just move on to the next part of the paragraph, next
That's
part of the
all.
contract. So, yeah.
Awesome. I love
I
it.
was gonna, if I can add on, Cynthia, I love what you said. And one of the things I've been working on, I'm a fourth year real estate agent, but I recognize now it's not just learning about the business. And my first 3 years were at a big brokerage and all these male trainers who are going to be there till they die, just saying that things have to be done this certain way. And then this past year, it's just been more like, what about my own identity and who do I show up as a realtor? Because I was a high school teacher for 17 years, and it's just a different place and a different time in my life. And one of the biggest things that I work on is receiving. And we're made to be givers, 100%. And we do all the time. There's no doubt in that, but we don't receive nearly enough compliments, advice, support. We just pretty easily, I think women do this a lot. We got it. And we do 100%, but it's the receiving of especially kudos and when something is a success, posting about it, not feeling like I'm arrogant or braggadocious for doing this. I fucking did it and I'm going to share it with the world. And the people that love me and support me are going to say, way to go, and it's just kind of starting to open that valve. And it's scary, but the feedback that I've gotten has been everything. So that's just something I keep working on. And really, I notice it when other women are doing it. And that fills me with joy because I see how I want to be, and just recognizing it is a huge step.
Yeah.
I
That's
love
really
that. I love that there's so many, this is a side comment, but I love that there's so many of us from the greater Seattle area here.
That's cool.
West Coast represent today.
That's right.
Awesome.
Laura's down there hanging out in California right now.
She's holding it tight.
That's really awesome. It's funny when you mentioned that, Trisha. I think about like one of the things that I really like teach agents is like your journey in entrepreneurship is more about you and you becoming a better person, like you becoming a better human, you becoming working on your insecurities, your personal triggers, more than anything. Because when you can navigate your own, because again, when we see folks on social media. And we see some folks posting things and like, oh, she's like super arrogant. Like she's always like blah, blah, blah. She's always wearing this. Like I had so real quick backstory. Hang in there, y'all. I joined a meditation group that focused on generational and ancestral healing. I had no idea what I was signing up for. Let me be very clear. I gave over way too much money to this stranger, essentially. And what I didn't realize was like the first the first session was the day after George Floyd's murder. And what I didn't realize was just how much of that was a trigger, right? Like I didn't see all the stuff yet, right? So it was just all the things, all the triggers. But that was like the first like memory of like, oh, this is hurtful because it's something in me. This my reaction to this is because there's something in me. Oh, I hate when people litter. Like it really drives me nuts. And my anger for littering, that's a destiny issue, right? And so when I see people posting on social media and there's judgment, it's like, oh, well, what triggered that judgment and what part of me do I need to work on to be better? Because once I got over that, then started showing up better on social media. Then I started sharing more of my story. Then I started sharing things that helped, essentially, as our meditation coach taught us. As the more that I started sharing about my journey, the more I was able to unlock and connect and help heal others, if that made sense. So yeah, just a little 2 cents. Yeah. Okay, so there were three things that I wanted to just kind of share as it's kind of like a bit of the wrap up, but we can definitely like continue navigating. But when it comes to playing small, like there's three things that I just want to like leave you with specifically to help you navigate. And I'll be honest, just from what I've gathered from the women on the screen, I don't think y'all have any trouble playing small. But I think three things that I think if you take anything away from today's conversation is one, like what story are you telling yourself? Like, what's going on in your head that keeps you in your same position that makes you think maybe I should not or I don't need to go for certain things or certain opportunities? So, what story are you telling yourself? And then the second thing is, what opportunities do you need to be seeking? And again, is that increasing your price point? Is there a recently, man, I'm going to be very transparent on today's call. I have a business partner, and we've been business partners for the last 5.5 years, and we have split everything 50-50. Our business always balances out. Like he may have one or two more this year, then I may have one or two more the next year, but it's always balanced out to where the 50-50 makes sense. And I mean, I'm kicking ass this year. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse, but I'm kicking butt this year. And that being said, I was like, I'll be honest, especially just with the way my life has shifted, I don't see my business going down. So I had to have a conversation with him about, I think we need to adjust our splits and standing firm in that. This is somebody who I love. He's like a brother to me. And I really had to like mentally like get ready for that conversation because someone who's poured into me and the way I've poured into him, it's also that sense of like, no, like I think this is the direction that we need to go. And so stepping up for myself and speaking up for myself was not natural at all. But I promise, like the first time you do it, it's much easier the next time. So, like I said, what story are you telling yourself? What opportunities do you need to be seeking? And the last one, as I just told you, just ask. Like, just ask. Open your mouth and ask. It gets easier every single time. That no, I'm not reducing my commission gets much easier every time you do it.
Well, and I think the other thing too is it does get easier. You're right. But also understanding what you're worth and what your value is and standing in that, like standing firm in that. Because like I've gone on a whole heck of a lot of listing appointments in the last couple weeks. And I go in, I do the thing, I do the comping, I go back, we talk, and they're like, would you do it for this? Or like, we think the house is worth this. And I said, you know what? Here's the deal. I'm here to sell real estate, not run a charity. I'm like, so if since you don't want to agree, since you don't agree with my pricing as someone who does this professionally and has done this professionally and provided for my family for 8 years, then I think you need to find yourself another agent. I don't think I'm the best fit for you. And I have told more listings to piss off in the last 2 weeks than I have in probably my whole career because I just don't care. Like, it is not worth my mental bandwidth to deal with people who think they know better than me. And I understand. And I tell them, I go, I understand it's very emotional, but I am giving you data-driven facts of where I believe your house is going to be priced. And I go, I invest $2,000 to $3,000 upfront on your home and marketing your home and whatever. Like I said, not a charity. Like, this is a business. I'm running a business. You hired me for my expertise, or you are talking to me for my expertise. And if you don't trust my expertise, then you need to find another agent. And standing in that and understanding and accepting that for a long time. I never accepted that as an agent. I was always like trying to convince them, like you said. And now, like the no thing. I've never actually ever just said no and stopped talking. And I'm like super excited to try that.
Yeah. Let us know how it goes.
What's up, Michelle?
Hey guys, I'm gonna circle back to dealing with I myself am in leadership in the real estate world, in the realtor world. So I'm a vice president-elect for my state association. And with that, I'm breaking the ceilings, right? Not just as a woman, but an Asian American woman. And but still, I'm in a world of a bunch of good old boys. And we just recently had a meeting, and one of them, he literally tried to gaslight me in front of the whole executive board. And I stood firm in I didn't get emotional, and I just said, I hear you, but I need to get my point across. And just so clean, shut him down from further trying to gaslight me. And no, I need to be heard. My voice matters. I got elected for a reason. And after that, I was like, after the meeting, I felt empowered. Like I empowered myself by like, you know what? I'm not going to let these men push me around. And I'm going to voice my voice because I know there's a lot of people that respect me through the association, through this whole entire state. And I'm not going to let anybody squash me down. So, anyways, so that being said, don't let any man like try to make you feel less than.
There you go. That's super dope. And congratulations on your leadership role. That's huge.
No, that's awesome. I don't know, it like the other day, I had a gentleman call me and he's got my one of my listings under contract. And he came at me. He's like, "Well, the sellers want or the buyers want a new roof, a new HVAC, and the house replumbed." And I was like, he's like, "There's a leak in the roof." I'm like, "No, there's not. It's old. Thank you." And but like in my head, I'm saying this and I'm like, Cass, keep your mouth shut. Cass, keep your mouth shut. Like as I'm sitting in the car, as my boiling level is starting to go up because I know that like I know what he's doing. He's like, "Well, the inspector said the insurance is at the end of its useful life." I'm like, is it working? But like then I had to reach out to a couple other agents in my market, and we've started to see more here that like they'll see that, and then people just want new HVAC, regardless if it's working or not. And I'm like, oh. So I'm like, woof, I don't want to deal with that. And then they want it's CPVC, and I'm like, I've done all the research on CPVC. It's really, I mean, it can be bad, but like it's not broken right now. So like, why would I go in and fix it? So it's just like trying to not let him, like you just said, Michelle, like gaslight me into a conversation. And I'm like, nope, shut your mouth, shut your mouth, shut your mouth. And I'm like, well, cool, put it on paper and let my client see it. And like, he doesn't answer any of his text messages. Here we are. And I'm like, hey guys, what's going on? Like, hey dude, what's going on? And I'm like, it's just like, I feel like sometimes it's like their job to just infuriate us.
I was just going to chime in and say, I think you both hit it spot on. I think as women, we're typically already more emotional beings, and that can be taken as a weakness or a trigger point. And especially in the leadership role, I'm telling you, I can relate so much to fighting back at the good old boys club. I am 2024, the first woman of color to ever sit on my association board,
Whoop, whoop.
going up in my Florida association. So I'm facing all of those challenges and in and out, whether it's clients, whether it's even our own spouses or children, it's that emotional aspect. And we have to take the emotion out of it. And whether it's your 3 deep breaths or whatever to just resettle yourself. And just like you said, Michelle, it's just like, great, you got that out. Now I'm going to prove my point versus letting that build up and finding the tools that you can use in those moments. Listen, I'm not a smoker by any means, but listen, half my board is, yeah, I need a smoke break too. And sometimes there's just me going outside and I just got to pray to not tell you how I really feel about you.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Oh my gosh, you guys, this has been a good one. This has been a good chat for sure. There's a lot to think about too, because there's so much more like not answering is also not playing small. Like, don't think of it as that way. Because people are like, well, you have to answer if you don't want to. No, you don't. Like the no is a full sentence. No is a full sentence and it is a great sentence and you can use it. And I even at home, my husband's like, do it. And I'm like, no. I'm just like, no. He looks for an explanation. And like you said, don't defend yourself.
Mhm.
Um, what do you think some things that we could work on to, I don't know, be more, how do you think us as an industry can work on some things to like up our pay, up our, women's representation? Like, how do we like, obviously we've got people like Whitney and Michelle that are standing on boards, but how do you think we do this more as we move forward?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I do think that there's some element of like, um, seeking more leadership roles. Like I think that's kind of like the easy button, not the easy button because we know how hard that is, right? But I think it does require a lot, but it also helps put voices in the room where we don't often get to be and have influence. But I also think there's a lot of power in our vulnerability, right? One thing that I have said, this is so sassy. Like I'm sassy like unnecessarily sometimes. It's like I'm not going to edit myself because of what I'm not going to edit myself because the women in front of me did it for me. So meaning I'm not going to be I'm not going to bend, I'm not going to conform. I get to be full destiny because the women in front of me got to do it.
Mhm.
And I think that the women in this space, as we continue to like bust down walls, like just the last two, Michelle and Whitney, like the two things that you guys have just accomplished, right? Being the first in your space, I think that just continues to push through to help women be more um, of an influence and not just like space holders, right? 65% is a lot of folks, but I think that it is filling up space, but also shifting the mindset of what this industry really is. I'm finding more and more folks that are showing up and seeking as I mentioned, the vulnerable piece and the transparency piece. Like I absolutely walk into a house with my clients and say, I'm not going to let your baby live here, so we can go. Like I'm just being so fully myself. Whereas before, it probably would have been a little bit more like, oh, okay, just a little bit more soft, right? I do think that there's some ways that as we continue to bring more of ourselves to the table, that continues to create the narrative for the next generation behind us. What I would love to see is no disrespect to any of our industry leaders that are big brokerage owners and CEOs. I would love to see one of us in that seat. I would really love to see one of us in a seat that's really like pushing like one of the faces, one of the power four real estate brokers, just being that face. And I think that just as we continue to forge forward, let's be honest, that's going to help us get there.
Yeah. Awesome. No, I love all of this. There's just so much to think about too. And like also like so I like tried to be on my board, right? And I got put into some sort of, I don't know, it was like a policy advocacy board role. And I've been on it for 2 years. I've went to like 4 meetings and I don't ever make any decisions. I don't like, and I'm like, great, I can just put it on my resume. And they're like, oh, do you want to renew? And I'm like, no, I didn't do anything. Like, this is dumb. And but so like finding the place where we can make a difference too. So like I felt like that board, see, I thought I was gonna go in there and like help and learn and do these things and network. And I'm like, I don't know anybody. We all meet on Zoom. We've only met 4 times in 2 years. I'm like, what's the point of this?
I,
So,
I also feel like there's some power in creating the space for yourself. So just kind of to what you're saying, like you tried to join your board, but it just wasn't a good fit, right? So then what does it look like? What space do you need to be creating for yourself so that another female realtor sees you and say, "Oh, that's not something that I thought about." And I think again, that's that pushing forward, but again, not necessarily subscribing to the script of how it needs to look, right? I think there's a lot of power in just in standing firm in who you are and doing your own thing.
mhm. Come
I'll
on.
com I'll comment on that. So I've done all the levels, local board, state board, NAR, all the things. I felt strangely enough, the local board was I felt more like a figurehead, although I was previously vice president of government affairs, and that got me in the face and in the room of lawmakers, which was great. And that is a great place to be because you can tell your stories. Um, but granularly, the state board was a great place for me because I was able to connect and relate to other realtors around the state that didn't feel like they had a voice. And they came to me, and it was really interesting. I'm also past state president of Women's Council of Realtors, and that was great. That's where I started my leadership journey. So I really believe in that organization. Um, and then I went back, I wanted to do local. So actually joined another local board, and now I'm chair-elect of diversity there because they are boots on the ground in their communities actually doing things. And I'm like, wow, that's so much more worth my time than just sitting in a room in a committee and being a listener or raising my hand once in a while, but I actually can affect change. So my point being, there's lots of things out there, the different local, state, etc. They're all different. So just find what fits you and where you feel like you can be powerful and make a change.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's really awesome. I feel like I've gotten the nudge to go and be a part of our board, and that's just not my jam. I feel like where I'm at in the space that I'm at is kind of where I need to be. Not for nothing. So I'm again 41, but my baby is 3. When I joined this office 10 years ago, it was very I think the average age was like 50 plus. And when I took a leadership role in terms of running our office, it really became like a goal of mine to just kind of diversify, right? If I'm going to be somebody's mom someday, if I want to have a baby, I want to create a space where like people feel comfortable having children as well. So I really like prayed and focused on bringing younger faces, but also at that time, I just did not see pregnant bellies in our industry. I did not see women having babies, and that really set my mind to say, can I be a realtor as well as a parent? And I just didn't know that that was what was capable. And I really just put my mind to growing our office in a way of bringing faces and helping people see that yes, you can be a parent and you can live the life that you want and you can be a successful real estate agent. So this is where I feel like I'm doing the Lord's work. I feel like I'm doing my due diligence in this space to make people feel like they can be the very involved dad making pancakes every morning.
Laura says, I was voted onto my board and quit because for 20 years they did not want to evolve. It was a waste of time.
Oof,
Mm.
that's tough.
I can see that too. I'm sure. I feel like Whitney's facing that right now. I can just see it in her face.
But it's a fight that I'm willing to do. And I say this quote all the time because it's bigger than me. And I think Destiny, your kind of thought process on what you're doing with everything is that same thing. But if we want to see a change in our industry, it is amazing, all of these external things. But if you want to change the machine, you got to be in the machine and you got to make your way to the top because we all know with everything, it starts from the top and comes down. So there are some days that it's like, I volunteer a lot of time, take away from my kids, my family, my business. But in those moments, it's bigger than me. And if we want to see that statistic change and more women making those decisions, you have to be, what is it, like the squeaky wheel gets the oil or whatever, like be a pain in their ass. They thought I was coming to like sit and be quiet and be cute. And they're like, this girl, every 5 seconds it's something else. And like the moment I hear, well, this is how we've always done it. Well, Karen, I love you for that. 20 years you've been doing that. That's great. We're no longer, we're evolving because our industry is evolving. And if we can't adapt and change, then what are we doing? That's when members don't see a value in their association. What am I paying for? It's like we have to be that change. So I encourage everyone to get involved one way or another. There's literally, we have a foundation that we created at our board that raises money for children in need. Like there's so many options of what you can do to give back. You can find a spot on your board and sample out every committee until you find one that fits and then figure out how you can work your way up.
Yeah. But I think that's something that I don't know that you would even give yourself credit for, but as you probably walk into the room, probably anybody that served in that role, like people button up when they see you. And I think that's awesome because they know that you're just not going to take any crap. And I think that's pretty powerful. I think that's what's making the difference. And so thank you guys to those that are stepping up to do that.
Absolutely. We really appreciate the people that are stepping in and trying to make a change for the rest of us. Well, we have really appreciated you coming on. I feel like we've had a really good conversation today. Patricia, my son, how you
That
guys?
was great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Destiny. Thank you. Thank you so much.
No, we appreciate like we got to have sometimes we got to have the hard conversations, sometimes we got to have other hard conversations, and sometimes we need to have hard conversations with ourselves.
Exactly. I think with ourselves is like where to start.
Yeah. So this was, sometimes a hard conversation with yourself, but we appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Everybody else, thank you so much for coming on. We got a couple.
Happy 4th, everybody.
Before, yeah.
Be safe.
Yeah, for sure. We will be back next month for more. First Thursday of the month, we always do stuff. We've got what do we got next month? Oh, some stuff for new agents and
New agents.
new agents and new to real agents. So that'll be great. Jamie's putting a great thing together there. We also have Rise coming up, which is really exciting.
And don't forget, we have the Moms Mastermind.
Mom's Mastermind. That is
the 4th of Thursday.
the fourth Thursday of the month. So that'll be at the
Yes.
end. If you guys aren't on the newsletter, you can opt in on the Facebook group or on the Work Vivo group. You can opt into the newsletter. We just sent it out yesterday, but it kind of has all sorts of cool details on it. Kind of keep everybody up to date, links, information, masterminds, all the fun stuff. So anything else, Patty and my son?
Not at this time. If nobody's interested in becoming part of the Women of Real and a state representative, reach out. Please let us know. We are looking for help in all states.
Yeah. Get a group together, start. We did our meetup yesterday in Portland, and I taught my open house class. We talked a little bit about how to do that, but like there's tons of different things. I think next month we might be going paddleboarding.
Ooh.
Just like a social thing. Like, because everyone's like, oh, it's summer. I'm like, fine, let's go paddleboarding. Let's go do something outside and not just like sit and learn. Let's do something fun together.
Exactly.
So we've been building community that way. And if you want to build community or you want to be a part of one of the local communities, reach out to us. There's me, Patricia, my son. I think Lizzie was on here. Cynthia's on here. And Laura's on here. So we're all here to help and hang out. But all right, you guys. Well, have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a fabulous 4th. Come back with all of your appendages, please.
Yes, please be
10
careful.
fingers, 10 toes. Yes.
Yeah, be careful.
Well, my mom only has 9 toes right now, but I mean,
Okay, well, no more lost toes, please.
No more lost toes.
Yeah, let's keep those 9.
Yeah.
Done and done. All right, you guys, take care and
Bye, everybody.
We'll see you next month.
Happy
Thank you,
4th.
everyone. Bye, ladies.
Bye.